Shavua Tov. So this is going to be the first class that I explain the process of Nitzozot, which is an organization that help us work and lead the evil inclination, and Be'ezrat Hashem get closer to Hashem. So the first thing that I usually explain is that everything is based on the Torah Kedusha, on the Holy Torah. And the processes of bringing down to the world the essence of who we are and tapping into the potential of us as Jewish people. What are we supposed to do here? Why are we here? What's the whole point of even being here? So the Holy Torah is teaching us that the world is created with words, right? We in the first part of the Torah, Hashem is saying Vayomer Vayehi, so, which means Hashem created the world with words. So Hashem talked, and then the world is created. And then we learned that Hashem created us in His image, right? So if we're created in His spiritual image, how do we create?
With words.
With words, right? So we bring down from higher worlds through words. The second thing that I'm going to mention from the Bible is the first time that the evil inclination is being revealed to us in a way that it's internal. So the first time it's being revealed to us, it's when it's external. It's a snake, right? Adam and Chava are pure. They have nothing from the outside. The snake is coming and telling him, Hashem told you don't eat from the fruit. And Chava is like, no, he didn't say don't eat from all the fruit. He just said don't eat from these two type of trees. And he said, yeah, he didn't want you to eat from these type of trees because you're going to be like him, and start planting seeds of separation between Chava and Hashem. And Chava believed him, and the external evil inclination became internal. Yeah, just like, when we, God forbid, receive Lashon Hara. At the beginning, we have really good vision of one person. And then we open our ears and someone is coming and saying, and then our job as Jewish people is to block it right away. We're not accepting it, we're not doing it, we're not listening. That's what we're supposed to do. But the moment you're open to hear, okay, I'm curious, I want to hear, you're receiving it, and then your whole outlook on this person changes. It's like there's a distortion of your eyes on the people from the outside. Same thing what the snake did to Chava. He separated between her and Hashem. The second time we hear about the evil inclination is the second generation of Cain and Abel. We know Cain was the first one to give a mincha, like a gift to Hashem, and then Abel also gave one. Cain was giving not the best. Abel, he gave. Cain gave. He was in charge of the field, so he gave things from the field, and Abel gave things like animals, sacrificed. And he said, Hashem, you're not taking mine because of Abel. And he said, no, I'm not taking yours because I'm not taking it because of Abel. I want you to fix it. And he said, and then he received jealousy. Of course, we know through the process of Chava being with a snake, she received jealousy, and it passed to the second generation, and Cain killed Abel. And then Cain said, oh, my sin is too heavy for me. And Hashem told him, about the evil inclination. חטאת לפתח רובץ ואליך תשוקתו ואתה תמשול בו. So he's explaining to Cain, חטאת לפתח רובץ means your evil inclination is going to sit at the entrance to you, and you're going to have desire to act from it, but you're going to have the ability to govern it, which means you can rule it. You have the ability to rule it. You have the ability to lead it. And that's all that I teach what to do here, is leaderships. How do we know about leaderships? Mashiach is also coming from the word sicha. Sicha in Hebrew means conversation. Is how the brain lead the heart. You're not supposed to whore after your eyes and your heart. Vashivot etadat, you're supposed to bring the brain down into the heart. What that are we supposed to bring down is that of the Torah. The Torah teaches us how we're supposed to bring ourselves in the reality in a proper way. Because even in the brain, sometimes you're like, okay, so the brain leads, but where does it lead us? Like I give an example. Let's say now you have a best friend, right? And your best friend just separated from someone who she was supposed to marry. He was the best guy, his best traits, kind, had everything going on for him. And so, as a friend, what would you usually do if she's coming in and crying and being sad? Would you comfort her?
Oh, you say bad, like you get upset at the guy and say
you say bad things about him, exactly, right? That's called also zchalim. You're gonna try to disconnect from the truth, so she's not gonna feel pain.
Yeah.
And that's what we usually do in our own heart. We try to disconnect from the pain. There is a book called Mavole Kabbalah. Is teaching that Hashem is taking the person from place A to place B. Place A is receiver, as children, all they do is receive. Place B is being giving, like Hashem. We're supposed to learn to become in Hashem's image. How do we become in Hashem's image? There's two processes. Process number one is through pain. Process number two is through mitzvahs. And that's what helps an individual grow. In this class, I teach how to work with the pain. Bezrat Hashem, you see that when the spaces opens, automatically the mitzvahs, you want to do them. You go after them because you develop a relationship. So I started talking about chatat lapetach ovet. So we have spaces in our heart. Chatat lapetach ovet is like the evil inclination is sitting at the entrance to your heart, is trying to jump in, and as soon as there is an opportunity, he jumps in. What's the nature of a baby? When a baby wants something, what's his nature?
He's gonna cry.
Right. Baby, when they want something, they're gonna cry because they want it. And then they hear shh, 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 shh. They understand shh subconsciously means don't cry. And it's okay, they don't want me to cry. These big people, they want me to do something else. And I am a people pleaser because we're all pleasers. What do they want me to do? So he looks outside. He's like, okay. When mommy wants something and she doesn't get it, she gets angry. When daddy wants something and he doesn't get it, he goes to pride. When my brother wants something and he wants to get it, he hits. So he has anger, and anger is being shifted to physical behavior. When my sister wants something, she turns my back at me. So that's the action. She doesn't speak to me. So she's blocking herself. Pride also. Pride. What is pride and how does pride look in the heart? This is the hardest one. Just noticing it and understanding it is like world of tikkun. This is how pride looks in the heart. Every time you put a person down in your heart, that's called pride. Every person, you look at him, you say, oh, this person, and there's a lot of it's this world, this person is a narcissist, this person is this. All of a sudden, everyone in the world became a psychologist. And they're reading about nurses because people, they don't, instead of looking at the inside and dealing with their own pain and understanding, okay, it hurts me, something is going on inside of me, they put the world down. And what they do, they separate, and that's all the evil inclination wants to do. Evil inclination wants to separate, always. The good inclination wants to unite, exactly. So let's go back to the pain. So then the baby starts going through something that's called substitutions. Substitutions. Substitute. I'm going to say a sentence in Hebrew to explain it to you. All the tzaddikim talk about it in their books. Rabbi Nachman talks about it a lot. He calls it heichale temurot. Spaces that you convert them. For example, the evil inclination is taking a space in your heart. He's putting sadness in it. And the work of the tzaddikim is to shift the sadness to happiness and excitement. How do you do it? The process that we go through is revelation and prayer, but someone who has a very high level of emunah automatically would just stay there. But also emunah is something that you grow over time. Emunah, it's never ending. The tzaddikim, when they came to upper world, their placement in upper world was based on their level of their emunah, because of course they're doing all their mitzvahs and everything. So did you understand what is eichalet murot? Eichale, spaces of conversion. We took spaces inside of us. Okay, let me explain to you what spaces means. We have the mind. What's going on in the mind?
Thoughts.
Thoughts, exactly. Eichale, thoughts. Eichale, spaces of thoughts. You also have irurim, quick thoughts. And then you have heart. What
Emotions.
spaces? Feelings, exactly. And what's in charge of the creations mainly? Most people, they speak from their heart. There's some people who speak from their brain too. But the biggest creation is done in the heart.
Emotion.
Yeah. And then you have the lower areas of the kaved, klayot, everything down is what? Actions.
תגובה.
Yeah, some
תגובה,
people
פירוש
have
רגש תגובה.
some people have klayot yoatzot. What's klayot yoatzot? Klayot is kidneys, right?
Yeah.
Kidneys that are giving advice. Like, it doesn't even go through the process of the mind and the heart. They automatically act. Like, something happens in their reality and it affects them in such a way that it just goes straight and they react in like a visceral animal way.
Meaning like flight or fight.
That. Exactly.
Instinct.
Instinct. Exactly. And our job is to cleanse the tikkun and bring it up. That's what we want to do. From actions to conversation to thoughts and then moving it up. And
Unless
of
you're
course,
standing in front of a lion.
what?
Unless you're standing in front of a lion, then you want to run.
So even that, we have the Daniel Begova Arayot. You know the story of Daniel Begova Arayot. Daniel was thrown into a lion pit, hungry lions. And his level of emunah was so strong that he said, if Hashem put me here, this is for the better of me. And the lions were like little puppies. They came and played with him. So it's all about the levels of your emunah. If you have a very strong emunah, Hashem put you there, you're not going to be scared.
But
Okay.
if you're looking at God forbid,
If you what?
God forbid, you meet someone that just wants to, I don't know, you meet like some crazy person in the street who just wants to like kill someone. I don't know. God forbid.
So let me take you back to the next step of the process. I'm going to talk about Rabbi Israel Baal Shem Tov. Rabbi Israel Baal Shem Tov, my love tzaddik, Baruch Hashem will give me strong connection to this beautiful neshama that's reincarnated to the world to help so many people. And one of the things he's teaching about is shemetz minehu. What does it mean, shemetz minehu? Everything you see from the outside is being shown to you so you can fix the inside of you. Nothing is coming from your outside for no reason. It's coming to show you your inside. 100%. There's no mistakes for Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael, Hashem has 100% ashgacha pratit, special providence, special guidance. You are not going to see anything from the outside that doesn't belong to your own tikkun. How does it belong to the own tikkun? Two ways. Number one, you see it, you have some of it inside of you. Number two, what are you feeling about what you see? So let's say now you see someone stealing groceries, okay? Why are you seeing this person stealing groceries and another person see the same person shopping but he doesn't see him stealing? Why would you be shown theft?
I think the point is that maybe you're stealing something.
Why?
Maybe you're stealing something.
Exactly, because you have theft. Now it doesn't have to be the same levels of
Right,
theft.
right.
It can be much lower levels of theft.
Different kinds.
Exactly. I'll give you an example of Rabbi Israel Baal Shem Tov. He said, I am being shown someone mechalel Shabbat, chas v'chalel, I'm being shown someone who's breaking Shabbat. How could it possibly be? How can I see? My love, come, bring a chair, come, join us. How can I see someone who's mechalel Shabbat? And then he sat down, he did something that's called tshuva, itbonenut, looking, and then he said, oh, Talmidei Chachamim are being called Shabbat. So if I see Talmidei Chachamim being called Shabbat and I ask him to do things for me, that's my levels of mechalel Shabbat. You understand? So it was way minor, but this, for a tzaddik like Rabbi Israel Baal Shem Tov, this is worlds.
Okay, if like let's say a rabbi, let's say speaks to thousands of Jews in Israel or anywhere, his whole job is to see the people that don't keep Shabbat, to help them find the light to keep Shabbat, right? So he's going to see a lot of people who don't keep Shabbat, and it's part of his job to help them to keep Shabbat.
So when I sit with people on Shalom Bayit, I hear everything about them. When I hear everything about them, I do the work with myself. And I do tikkunim with myself. I do tshuva on things that I see in them.
Wow.
We see our own tikkunim. We see us. And again, it doesn't mean it's in the same level.
Let's say if someone is complete tzaddik.
A complete tzaddik is not going to be here. If they finish their tikkun, they're not going to be here. They're going to be gone. Rabbi Nachman of Breslev, Hashem took his neshama at the age of 38 because he finished his tikkun. His neshama got too elevated. It was done. So when you're done, you're not here. If you're here, you have a tikkun. And also, even look at the neshama of Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu reincarnate every generation. Nitzozot of him reincarnate in the highest tzaddikim of Am Yisrael. Why is he always coming? What tikkun? Moshe Rabbeinu. He's like, it's Moshe Rabbeinu.
To uplift everyone.
So there is a reason. I'll explain to you why. Moshe Rabbeinu is a Gilgul, is reincarnation of Cain. Of Shet and Habel, which we know Cain, Shet, and Habel are the three children of Adam Rishon. So when he decided to take the Erev Rav, the non-Jewish people from Mitzrayim, he wanted to fix his neshamas from Habel. The Erev Rav, every generation they come and they do big balagan. They do a lot of mess for Am Yisrael. The biggest mess we receive from them. You understand? So he took him out. They did balagan for Am Yisrael. So he's coming to help Am Yisrael from the Erev Rav through reincarnating into the biggest tzaddikim of the generation. So it's all about tikkunim. Even Adam v'Chava, Adam v'Chava, they're supposed to be the guards of the trees. Not only they were not guarding the trees, they also ate the trees and they gave the trees to everyone. There's only two animals that didn't eat. First one is the fish. Fish don't have names because name is tikkun. And the second one is a bird called ofachol, which received a really special blessing. I don't know how to say it in English. I apologize. But these are the only two animals who are not reincarnated. One of them got a blessing. One of them, the fish don't have tikkun.
Which one is ofachol? Like, is it tikkun?
Ofachol. That's the name of it.
That's
Yeah, that's the name. Okay, so let's go back. We said to Rabbi Israel Baal Shem Tov. So we said Shemetz Mineu, which means I see from the outside everything that's inside and I need to fix myself. I'm only going to be shown what belongs to my own tikkun.
But what about Agana Atzmit, self-defense?
Let's because if every time it's going to be questions, it's going to be hard for me. So keep that, write it down. We'll go back to it at the end. Write Agana Atzmit. Here, take it. We'll talk about it at the end. So again, let me go back. We said two things. We said number one is Shemetz Mineu. We only see from the outside what exists in the inside, and number two is what we feel about it. What we feel about it is what I want to work with you on also. Okay? So feeling. We said baby, automatic response, cry. Then baby starts substitutions. I'm actually even going to draw it. So we said the initial inside we have pain. And then we said the pain started being substituted to anger, sadness, say anger, pride, jealousy. Give me more negative traits. Competition. Guilt. And so what happened? We started getting farther and farther away from ourselves. We started going out, 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 out. And then we separate ourselves from the people. We separate ourselves from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And we separate ourselves from ourselves. So some of the work is that the flashlight that is constantly on the outside, to turn it in. What am I feeling? What's going on inside of me? We leave the reality alone now, because if we understand everything belongs to my own tikkun, the external reality, I don't have anything to do with it anymore. Because if I came here to fix myself, now the work to do is the work to do with myself first. That's where this work starts. How do we do it? So it's the klipot. We call it klipot, the veils. It's like veils that are like wrapping our heart. How do we work with the klipot, with the veils? We burn them. How do we burn them? We sit in them. We don't act from them. This process of Nitzozot is teaching you how to talk to them, how to lead them. It's like, if I look at my life right now, I have 2 parts of me. 3 parts. When I have the time between me and myself, I either talk to Hashem, gratitude, love, tshuva, everything. If I talk to my evil inclination, I see what's going on with my evil inclination, I talk to him. My evil inclination is one of the closest things to me in the world, because I constantly talk to him to lead him. And it's kind of like some levels of negotiation. And this process is almost like I explain to people, is like, let's say now you have like a really wild horse or a wild animal, but this animal is like the best animal in the world. You ride it, you win all the horse, you can get whatever you want in the world. But this animal, like all you did your whole life, you hit it, like shut up, like quiet, I don't want to hear you, quiet, like. And then the animal is all of a sudden is like sometimes breaking like the doors of the cage and doing a little performance, and then you're like shut, you put it back in. So this process of Nitzozot is giving space to this animal and learning to lead it, learning to make friend with it, learning to understand that there is a part of you that is kind of a part of you, but not really a part of you, because we know that there is an actual angel who is in charge of it. It's 6,000 years old. In Hebrew, we call it Melech Ksil V'Zaken. Melech, king, Ksil, because he makes everyone stupid. Ksil is like kind of like stupid in Hebrew. And Zaken, old. Why old? Is like so smart. He knows how to sit in everyone's heart. He knows how to tell people exactly what he needs to tell them to separate them from others and from themselves, to put themselves down, to tell them that Hashem doesn't love them, Hashem doesn't want to give them. It knows to control everyone, and everyone on some levels is being controlled by him. And the work is to learn to lead it. That's the work. That's one of the reasons we came here. So it is an internal part, but once we understand it is internal because we let it be. And there is a way to talk to it, to remove it. It makes life a lot easier. Because now you understand, okay, like I worked with some people, like some of their sentences was like I'm sarut. In Hebrew, it's like I'm scratched. They say I'm scratched. So I talked to them and I was like, why would you say I'm scratched? Like, why would you say I'm like this? And once we start process of revelation, everything that comes out of our mouth is to kind of like serve us. We think it serves us, but it doesn't really. So one of the things we open and we say, because this would allow me to act the way I want to act. If I want to act a certain way, it's just going to give me an exit way to act the way I want to act. And then I don't have to put boundaries on myself. Because boundaries, which is the work that we have to do as Am Yisrael, to put boundary on the way we act from the evil inclination, is a hard job. Why? Because we receive light from anger. Anger makes us full. But if this world is orot v'kelim, which means in English, light and a vessel, the anger would fill you up. You're gonna be like, yo, I showed him. They shouldn't be that way. Da, da, da. We have all these voices. These voices, for a second, they make us feel like we're in power, we're strong, we're this, we're that. But in reality, it's not sustainable, because eventually we're gonna break ourselves down, and we create holes in the vessel, and we cannot hold the light. We cannot feel Kedusha. We cannot connect to Hashem. We cannot carry the Torah, which the Torah is the most beautiful thing that exists in the world. I'll give an example. Lashon Hara. I'm going back to Lashon Hara. Let's say now you did Lashon Hara. What did you do? You created a hole in the vessel. Now you want to tap into higher spiritual information. Say you want to read Tehillim. Now when you read Tehillim, when you do holy things, you're full, right? You feel the Hashem. It feels so good to be connected to you. But then there is a hole that the light is coming out of, right? So what do? We know there's being that gets fed off of this light that's coming out. We want to close it. How do we close it? Tshuva. Tshuva, there are 3 levels of processes. Number 1 is itbonenut, which means observation, looking at what we've done. This work is looking at things that doesn't work in our life, because we know that there is no isurim bli avon. There is no bad things that happen to us in reality, or we look at it as bad things. It's not really bad things. We perceive it to be as bad, unless we deviated from what He wants us to do or to be. We deviate from the relationship. We deviated from the Torah. We deviated from the way we're supposed to be. So, first thing is itbonenut, observation. Second thing is admitting. Actually, I made a mistake. It's first of all is admitting. But before you admit, you have to observe, right? So let's say observing and admitting. Second thing is feeling the regret. And third thing is taking on, in the future, I'll never do that again. That's tshuva. You did that, you filled the hole. Someone who has a life of tshuva and is doing more tshuva, understand that everything they're being shown is to do tshuva, his light is going to be full, and they're going to start feeling kodesh. For example, in the Jewish in the Jewish prayers, on the Siddur, when you have the Shabbat, you receive the neshamas, the nefesh, the tosafot, tosefet nefesh, tosefet neshama, tosefet, like adding. When you feel the light, you feel this neshama comes in, like you feel like you're being carried. You feel the kodesh, People that do this work for a while, they call me and they're like, oh my gosh, I feel kedusha, like I'm walking on, I feel it. It's like, I don't know how to even explain it. It's like Hashem is carrying you and embracing you. It's the most amazing feeling that can exist in the world. So part of this work is also to do tshuva. How do you do tshuva with this work? This work, we're matching 2 girls here. And these 2 girls are going and choosing one thing that they want to work on. It could be parnasa, like financial abundance. It could be a relationship with your husband. It could be the fact that there's no husband yet. It could be don't have children, want to have children. Could be physical health. Could be any relationship with any person. We all have lack ofs that we're being shown in our life. And these lack ofs are coming for us to start to do the work in reality. So we're taking that, and then we're starting opening the heart on the feeling that comes out. The name of this organization is called Nitzozot. Why is it called Nitzozot? Nitzozot is like sparkles of light. When we were children, and we decided to act from these, we lost Nitzozot. Subconsciously, we didn't do that. Why is it? This process is called Tikkun Avot, fixing our forefathers. Why? Because we reincarnate with similar things that was before. It's like the parents screen on us what their parents screen on them, and until someone wakes up and say, okay, I'm doing the Tikkun for everyone. or the generations to come and all the generation in the back, and I'm taking responsibility. I can give an example. One of the biggest traits I had before I started doing this practice were anger and pride. When someone did something that I felt like was hurting me, I disconnected from them. I said they're nothing. I could put them down, disconnected. Or I got really angry and I responded from anger. So we had 2 kids, neighbors that were really good friends of my son, but they're fighting a lot. And it kept on, as a mother, I kept on going back to my personal childhood trauma and bringing it to my reality through these 3 kids. I would try to get them connected to be friends again, but I would do it with anger. I was angry at all of them. I was like always coming and intervening in the most not very pretty way. And one day I said, okay, now I really get it. I get that if it's coming my way, yeah, they're fighting, but it's coming to me. It's being shown to me because something is going on that is not in alignment with the way I'm supposed to bring myself through these kids. I'm supposed to be the adult here. Well, all of a sudden I'm acting like a child. So I took a shower, and then I started doing the work while I'm there. And then I was like, what am I feeling right now? I saw my anger. I was angry at the kids. I was like, and then from the anger, I started burning the anger. I went down. There was a lot of pain because all these traits are sitting on pain. And then I started going to flashes of my childhood. There is a circle of people. Me and another girl are sitting in the middle of this, well, not sitting, fighting, hitting each other in the middle of the circle, and they're all yelling, Neta, Neta. Not even one kid is yelling my name. And she's beating me.
It's a true story?
It's a true story. But I forgot about it, completely forgot about it. And then I realized, so I'm responding like my son is me, and everyone is yelling, Neta, Neta. Everyone is yelling, not my son, the other kids. And he's me, because we're connected to the children. We see our past experiences through the children. And I'm working, I'm being with myself, and I'm seeing in myself, and I'm allowing myself to go into the pain. There's something called Lev Shavur veLev Nishbar. Lev Shavur is a broken heart. Lev Nishbar is like, Lev Shavur is like a broken heart for a long time. Lev Nishbar is like, I'm with myself right now. I see myself. I see my pain. I hold my hand. I'm with myself. I'm going with myself like a process. So it's 2 different realities. Here I'm like in despair. Here I'm seeing myself to help myself grow. I'm coming out of the shower. First time in my life it have ever happened. These 2 kids are knocking on my door and saying, we just want to say we're really sorry. Can you come back and play with us? And they're like, I got it. Like before that, I had it in my brain. In my brain, I understand I'm responsible. But there, I started getting it in my heart. Not only in my brain, I got it, but in my heart, I understand. Hashem is showing me, do the work. I'm gonna take care of everything. You don't need to do anything in reality. It doesn't belong to the reality. It's in you. And even when I work with couples, I tell them I don't need 2 people. I need 1 person to come in and do this work to commit. Why? Because when a couple is getting married, I explain it. Even when I do Kala classes, I explain to them, in Shamayim, like the neshama is masculine and feminine together. Then they go through a process of separation. Half comes in a masculine, half comes in a feminine. When they get married under the chuppah, about an hour, the neshama goes back up. They become one again. So it's enough for me to work with a part of the neshama for the other person to go through a process of growth. With their kids too. We can do the work. We can do the work for them. So we are responsible for everyone that's around us. We just have to do the work. We don't need to come out so much. So when we do the work, either we're giving the tools to be able to bring ourselves in the reality in such a way that everyone is going to grow, or Hashem just changed the reality for us and we don't need to do anything. There's not much that we need to do on the outside. Okay. So let's go back to this. So I started saying the work is to burn the traits, and that's what we do here. Now I'm going to explain the process. The tzaddik that I'm putting that I'm learning this process from, Rabbi Nachman Breslev. He talks about it in a book called Likutei Moran. 23 hours per day, we're supposed to be happy. We're supposed to guide our heart. Happiness, excitement, this, that. 1 hour a day, we're with our heart, with the truth. There is something called the emet la'amita, which means the final truth, and there is something that's called nekudat emet. Okay? Nekudat emet, the where is my heart right now? Where am I right now? What am I feeling right now about the reality that's going on in my life? You know, my husband said something, I'm feeling this about it. My kid's just not listening to me. I want to get married, but I am desperate because I feel like Hashem is not opening it for me. I am struggling financially. I'm trying to make it happen. It's not working. It's just not. Something inside of me doesn't lost the faith. That's the nekudat emet. That's what am I feeling right now about my life. That's a true point of truth for me right now. The emet la'amita, which means the final truth, is where I want to take myself. Because we know that in the emet la'amita, Hashem can open everything in a second. My husband spent a few days with Rav Shalom Arush, which I have no words about this tzaddik, Baruch Hashem. That Am Yisrael has the merit to have such tzaddikim in our life. And one of the things he told them is like, who does Hashem love more? A criminal or Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai?
Same.
Criminal that did tshuva, because the process is bigger.
Same.
Okay.
Why the same? Because we're all His children. We're all His daughters. Hashem loves us in a ways that we cannot explain. We cannot understand. I mean, how much you love your children. You do everything for them. So can you imagine the love that Hashem has for us? Unlimited. Where is the evil inclination is holding us? Oh, maybe we did something wrong. He doesn't want to give to us. Is Hashem giving us through what we did? No. He's giving us through His unconditional love. We're receiving from the unconditional love of Hashem, not from what we deserve to receive. Because from what we deserve to receive, we deserve. What do we deserve? Nothing. So we need to base our receiving through the love of Hashem. Also, Hashem doesn't expect us to win the war against the evil inclination. The evil inclination is something that we built our whole life. Can we win it? Possibly. Can you win the gava? Can you win the kas? No. In the Torah, there is a sentence that says, Ki tetzeh le'milchama ve'Hashem natan beyadecha et oivecha. What does it mean? And you're going to war, and Hashem gave the enemy in your hands. We're not supposed to win the war. All we have to do, we prepare to go to do the war. We prepare to go to do the war. We prepare to go to do the war, and Hashem is like, my loved, beautiful daughter, how much effort you're making to get closer to me? You want to be in my image? You want to clean your anger? You want to clean your pride? You want to bring yourself in my reality, the beautiful way? I'm handing it to you. Hashem is just going to give it to you. We don't do it alone. You know, sometimes there's situations that come to me in Shlom Bayit that I tell them, look, if you brought this to me and I had no Hashem in this process, I'd be like, give up. Don't even start it, because it's not going to work. But because I know Hashem is here, and Hashem answers our prayers, and Hashem is holding you hand in hand, and He even put you here so you can grow, then we're not connected to nature. This work is above nature. And you're going to make work to grow above your nature. The world would change the whole nature with you, and I've seen it time and time again. Time and time again. When people come and agree to work against their nature, Hashem is just handing it to them. If I tell you the miracles I've seen throughout this process for people who were loyal to these processes, I can tell you, there was a girl who came to me, age of about 40, going on shidduchim, met someone, we started to do the work, she's going inside, she says, the guy who I'm going in shidduch, there is a little bit rejection. I feel like he's rejecting me a little bit. And I said, okay, great. You see rejection on the outside. I guarantee you there is rejection from the inside. You reject him too. She's like, no, I'm not rejecting. I was like, you see it on the outside? She said, yes. I said, guaranteed it exists on the inside. We went inside. We started seeing the rejection. We worked in it. I said, okay, now when you bring yourself into the reality, You can see the rejection. Do not act from it. Because once you act from it, you're going to see it from the outside too. She didn't react from it. She agreed to be in pain. She had a ring on her finger within 2 weeks. I had a guy came to my spa. I worked with him. He went into the room. 2.5 hours, he cried to Hashem because he was able to see the traits and he was surrendered to the traits and he just went to his heart. I don't know, 3 weeks to get engaged. Something like this. With someone who he knew in the past, but he didn't, they lost contact and then he reached out and then very endless stories like this. Families who were about to break the deal, they're loyal, they came in, they did the work. Now they have houses of chesed that, we can't even explain. So when you agree to go above your own nature with Hashem, Hashem changes all the nature of all the worlds with you. Because Hashem wants relationship. That's what He wants. He wants to be in touch with us. He wants kesher. Kesher, you change the world of kesher, the opposite is sheker. So either you leave the reality, which is a complete sheker, or you start having a relationship with Hashem, which you live a world of truth, and you have kesher. When Hashem, before Adam and Chava, did they ate from the fruit, we heard that Veruach Hashem merachefet. We learn it after they did this sin, which remind me to say what's a sin after I finish saying this story. So after they sinned, he said, Veruach Hashem merachefet ki dei yom b'yamo. The spirit of Hashem was walking in the Garden of Eden like every day. So every day Adam and Chava had a conversation. They talked to Hashem. They were in touch with Him. Once you break the relationship, you start living a reality that is a lie. It's a reality that brings you on. The more you work, the more you receive. It's a lie. You receive everything from Hashem. Ani v'otzam yadi. Asu li את החיל הזה. Me and the power of my hand give me this. People think, oh, we go, we work, we do this, we build, we did. No, you do nothing. Hashem is giving to you. Everything we have in life, Hashem is giving to you. It's the evil inclination, it's the gava. We're locked in chains of gava that make us think we did, we got. No, everything is from Hashem. Everything belongs to Hashem. I started talking about sin. What's sin in Hebrew? Sin means chet. Chet means chatzitza me'atov eloki. Every time we act from these games, we separate ourselves from the good of Hashem. And the work is to go back in, to sit in the pain. Because once you act from these, you receive light. You remember I told you the world is made out of od v'kelim. You receive light from the sitra achra. You receive light from the evil inclination that breaks your vessel. When you stop acting from it, you're going to start feeling the pain because there is a body of pain. Every time we act from the pain, we grow the pain, we grow the trait. We grow the pain, we grow the trait. We grow, and then the pain is really big and the traits are really big. So now in order to stop feeding this giant, massive game internally that is coming to say, I'm protecting you, I'm defending you. It's like, what is the klipo doing? Now you come in, you're like putting a show of like, I'm angry, everyone listen to me. You put a little bit fear in other people and people are kind of like, are scared of you. But you grew your pain and you grew the trait. And these things, they're painful. So now when you start burning the trait, I'm not going to act from anger anymore. It's not serving me. I'm not going to act from pain anymore. It's not serving me. I'm going to learn to sit and talk to my traits. And I'm going to agree to sit in the pain. You're burning the trait. You're burning the pain. There's nothing for the trait to sit on anymore. Because all the trait is sucking life is from the pain. You understand? So I'm going to take you to a few sentences of Rabbi Nachman, which is a tzaddik that gave me a lot of power to do this work, Baruch Hashem. It's right here. I'm going to show it right there. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, והעיקר לא להתפחד כלל. The real sentence is actually לא לפחד, לא להתפחד. Rabbi Nachman is saying לא להתפחד. Why? Because we scare ourselves. The whole entire world is a very narrow bridge, and the most important thing is not to scare ourselves. You take the word regesh, you shift them around, it means you take the word gesher, you shift them around, it's actually regesh. The whole entire world is a very narrow bridge, and the most important thing is a very narrow feeling, and the most important thing is not to scare ourselves. So let's go back to this. This is a very narrow feeling. So something can happen in the reality, okay? Someone said something. We get humiliated, right? In the reality, not a lot of things happen. What happens? Someone says something, this happened, that. Usually that's most of the things that are hurting us, right? So so what do? Once you agree to sit here, you go above the nature. You don't act from the anger. You don't go and you say to the other person, you go and you kill your surroundings. You agree to sit here. You agree to sit here. You agree to sit here. You suck life from the traits. You suck light from all of this. Then Hashem puts you here. In this space I called an expansion of consciousness. Chavat Hadat. This is where Chanukah is. The infinite. The Shmone Afuch, the endless, 8 days of Chanukah, you turn them around, it's the endless. Here, you can do whatever you want in this space, and also this space is where Kedusha is. Why? Because of Am Yisrael, they have Kedusha in our blood, right? The Kedusha exists inside of us. So all we need to do is not to act from the traits, to want to crave holiness. I remember when I just started doing this work, there are a few days that I was like, oh, now I don't get angry anymore so much. I don't go to pride. What am I doing? All these spaces inside of me. And I remember what am I doing with this? And then I went to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and I received a gift from him, Baruch Hashem. What a tzaddik we have, and what a blessing and a merit we have to go to this tzaddikim that they always give us gifts. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, I left, and someone talking to my mom, and they asked her if she wants to study halacha. And at that time, I have no one in my life that was able to teach me Torah, because you guys know I'm Balat Tshuva. And so I saw this woman after I asked my mom, and so I read after. It's like, would you please teach me halachot, because I know nothing about the Torah and I really want to learn. And so one day I was doing it bodedut, and she called me, and I got so excited that she called me, and I couldn't talk to her. I was crying from excitement, because after you work with the traits long enough, all you want to do is you want to maintain this relationship with Hashem. And Baruch Hashem, she was the first tzaddikah to teach me halachot. And that's what I do when I work with people. After a while, they call me, they're like crying from excitement that they get to do the mitzvot. Like, oh, I'm just dipping my dishes in the mikveh. And like, when you do mitzvot from this place, it's like such a beautiful thing, because you're really connected to who we are supposed to do. Look at the bracha that you do in the Birkat Hamazon. Avarecha et Hashem b'chol עת. This is a Jewish neshama.